Normally, when we speak of sadhu, saintly person, generally, especially in India, not only in India, abroad also, at least in India, the thinking is if I go to a sadhu, I should get some vibhuti, I should get some blessing to remove my disease. If I go to a sadhu, my problem will be solved, my financial problem will be solved, my distress will be removed. This is people's thinking when they go to a sadhu. In the West, when people go to a sadhu, they think if I go to a sadhu, he will teach me yoga, then I can become very healthy, I can enjoy my senses nicely. So people have all these kind of conceptions about sadhus. That is why Srila Prabhupada, when he went to the West in the 70s, Prabhupada was not the only person who had gone to the West from India. There were others also. There was one so-called sadhu who was charging people so many dollars. You give me $500, I'll give you one secret mantra. By chanting that, you will become God. That is one guy. Then there was somebody else who was teaching so-called transcendental meditation. And like this, so many, left, right and center, so many people were there. Another guy was there who was calling himself Bhagavan. He was going and declaring to all of them that I am the Supreme Lord. So like this, so many people were there. So the real impact of meeting a sadhu is described by Swayambhuva Manu here. It is not removal of some disease or blessing to become wealthy or receive some secret mantra by which I can become God, or to learn how to do yoga so that I can become healthy. These are all not the real consequences, real result of meeting a sadhu. So the real result, actually speaking, as Swayambhuva Manu is mentioning here, is the Chinna Sarva Samshayaha, is the resolution of all of one's spiritual doubts. Whatever lack of clarity we have in our spiritual life, that is cleared by association with a saintly person. The impact of meeting a real sadhu, real saintly person is the awakening, the lighting of the lamp of knowledge, the awakening of spiritual knowledge within the heart, the a clarity on what one has to do with one's human form of life. This clarity comes only by association with a saintly person. That is why in the beginning, in the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, all the sages who had assembled there in Naimisharanya, when they were speaking to Suta Goswami, they said that Tulayama Lavenapi Na Swargam Na Punarbhavam. So they said that Bhagavad Sangi Sangasya. So they said that the Bhagavad Sangi Sangasya. Bhagavad Sangi means one who has Sangha with Bhagavan. One who is a devotee of Bhagavan. One who is a devotee of Krishna. His Bhagavad Sangi Sangasya. The association of a devotee of Krishna. Tulayama Lavenapi Na Swargana Punarbhavam. So the association of a pure devotee of Krishna, Lavenapi, even for a fraction of a second, we consider that such association, even though it is very short, it is beyond compare even to Swargam, even to the heavenly planets. Means any amount of material opulence, any amount of sense gratification, even up to the level of that experienced by the Devatas in Swargaloka, all kinds of material opulences and sense gratification, even apunarbhavam, even liberation from material birth and death, cannot compare to the association of a pure devotee of Krishna, even for a second. Martyanam kimutashishaha. Then what to speak of all the so many insignificant things that people on the earthly planet go around seeking. Some disease has to be solved, my financial problem has to be solved, this has to be set right, that has to be set right, my health has to be okay. These are all very insignificant. They pale in comparison to the kind of the opulence and happiness that one can experience in the heavenly planets or in Brahmananda, in liberation. So even that cannot compare to even a fraction of a second's association with a pure devotee of Krishna. So we have to understand that the association of pure devotees of Krishna is so highly valued in the Vedic literature. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Sadhu Sangha Sarva Shastra Koi, Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhi Hai. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, the conclusion of all the Vedic scriptures is Sadhu Sangha, association of a pure devotee of Krishna. Such association of a pure devotee of Krishna, even for a fraction of a second, can bestow all perfection upon the living entity. We have many such examples. Dhruva Maharaj had association of Narada Muni for a very short time, for a few minutes only. The conversation between Narada Muni and Dhruva Maharaj would have taken hardly maybe 2-3 minutes. In that 2-3 minutes, Narada Muni gave him one mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That's all. And Dhruva Maharaj became a perfected person. Similarly, Prahlad Maharaj, his association with Narada Muni was also for a short time while he was in the womb of his mother. He had not even been born, not educated. Just in the womb of the mother, he heard something, whatever Narada Muni spoke. A child in the womb of its mother, what can it understand? But Narada Muni's words had such impact on the child within the womb of Kayadu that he became Prahlad Maharaj, such a great devotee. Similarly, Valmiki Rishi. So all such persons, we can see how just a few seconds or minutes of association with a pure devotee transforms their whole lives. Their whole life becomes glorified because they also become great devotees of Lord Krishna. Another interesting thing to note in all these cases is that Prabhupada even gives the example of himself, of how he met Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That meeting was also not very long. It was only for a few minutes. But that meeting created such an impression in Prabhupada that for the rest of his life, he was thinking only how to serve Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So, not only that, if we look at all these examples, one interesting thing that we see is that all such great pure devotees, personalities, it's not that they are giving constant day-to-day instructions to their disciples. They meet their disciples hardly very few times. But still, those few moments, those few meetings are enough for one to perfect one's life. Srila Prabhupada also met his spiritual master very few times, maybe 5 times, 6 times, not more than that. Isn't it? Not very, it's not that every alternate day Prabhupada was meeting Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Hardly, very few. You can count on your fingers how many times Srila Prabhupada met Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. But still, the impact of those meetings was very profound.